Recently, I purchased a car, used car from a dealership, a very large dealership in Ohio. It's Volkswagen of Streetsboro, Ohio. And I had a weird situation that happened. So, I wanted to make this video and just kind of get some feedback. I wanted to find out how others felt about maybe what happened to me. Maybe they agree with me, maybe you don't. But I'm very curious. So what happened is that I traded in a 2024 Hummer EV3X, also traded in a Mercedes GL 550. And upon making that trade, this was for BMW X7 M50i, and everything was going pretty well. I think the sales person was very good. I think she was very attentive. I think she did solid follow up. So no issues with the salesperson. I thought the manager person I dealt with to help me transport a vehicle. I thought that he was very professional, very helpful. With that transaction, so didn't feel like there was any issues there. I had to when you transport a vehicle, sometimes the transporter, you may pay for a portion of it with credit card. You pay for the rest of the transport upon making a delivery. I think the manager was kind enough to, I sent them the money cash. I paid for fees for them to pay the transporter with cash on delivery, which I think was fine. This is not something that's very unique. I've bought several cars, many cars in my lifetime. This is not something that's very unique, but still, nonetheless, very appreciative that they did that. I think everything was going smooth. I think the one issue, there's a couple of issues that occurred. There was kind of a snafu in terms of the paperwork. I think they ended up firing somebody, but what ended up happening was some of the paperwork just didn't. They didn't receive it from my financial institution, and as a result, it caused a mass confusion. But we got it resolved, and they were very helpful with that end of it. I think the director of finance was very professional. I thought he did well. But I think what happened, let me just get right to it, is that upon taking delivery of the vehicle, I, was expecting to get 2 keys to the car that I purchased from them. Instead, they only had 1. Now, I asked them, hey, look, this is a BMW. These keys aren't cheap. Is there a way that you guys could get that for me? Is there a way you guys could purchase that? Buy the key for me? And they said they would not. It's not something they're able to do. It's very difficult. It'd be a lot easier and take a lot less time if I did it myself. I wasn't happy with that response, but what could I do at that point? I felt like, okay, well, I'm not going to let the hang up of a key. Especially they're not willing to do it anyway. They're not willing to purchase the key for me anyway, because I asked a few times that they weren't going to do it. So I said, okay. Now at that particular time, they hadn't asked me for the second key of my Hummer EV3X. I actually forgot about it. But I was thinking to myself, you know what? Why should I give them the second key to my Hummer that I've traded into them now, if they can only give me 1 key for a car that I just purchased from them? So I didn't hand it to them at that time. The bigger part of it, honestly, was I forgot about it. But no one ever asked for me, asked for the key from me while I was there. Now, fast forwarding 3 weeks after I've already picked up the car, and have it at home and so forth. I'm happy with the car. I got no issues with that. They contacted me yesterday. Yeah, yesterday being the 6th or the 5th of January 2024. And they sent a text to me. This is a manager, requesting or asking if I had a copy of that key. About the second key. I said, yes, I do. They said, well, can you send it to us? Can you send it to either me, meaning the manager, or directly to the customer? I said, I'd have no problem doing that, provided, because at this point I've already purchased, because I wanted to have 2 keys for the BMW. I have now gone to BMW and purchased the second key, which was about $380, something around there, to get. So I asked them, I said, I'll continue that key, but I'd like to be reimbursed for the second key that I had to, for the second key that I had to purchase. If you want to do that, then I'll be happy to send the other key. Now, he wasn't happy, saying that, okay, what, so you're holding this key for ransom? And I said, well, I'm not really holding it for ransom, but I really was hoping you want to give the second key to the Hummer the same way I want to give the second key for the BMW. You're not able to do that for some reason, which it doesn't come down to the fact that you are having difficulty. It'll be difficult for you to get that key. It's more because it took me, I think they had it within 72 hours, the key for me. I don't think it was a situation of it being difficult. I think it was more of a matter they just didn't want to incur the cost. So, but they want me now to send them the key. Now, the guy got upset. The manager got upset the fact that I didn't want to send them the key. He said, well, okay, well, I will pay you provided that you send me the key first, send the key to the dealership, and then he'll send me the money. I'm thinking, no, that doesn't seem like that's going to work out. Somehow I think they're going to renege on this deal. So I said, no, you send me the money, and then I'll send you the key. He said, yeah, no, quoting him, yeah, no, that's not going to work. And he said some other things and just said, just not going to deal with it. Then he kind of fired. I said, okay, that's fine. And then he fired back. Wasn't happy, just saying, well, I can't believe you're going to hold it for ransom, blah, blah, blah. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and purchase the keys for the customer. We'll purchase the second key for the customer instead, which I think is kind of funny. So you're willing to purchase the key for the customer, but you're going to pay more for that key than what I paid for that BMW key, by the way. So you're willing to do that, but you're not willing to get me a second key, but you're going to go ahead and get that customer a second key. That's interesting. That's interesting, right? So I don't understand that part. So I think the other, so that bothers me a little bit. They're willing to do that. So I guess, you'll do it for some customers and not others. Maybe they view the Hummer being more expensive. They should have the second key. I would also say that BMW X7 M50i is also expensive. I should have a key for that as well. So nonetheless, they're not going to do it. So he ended up firing back and saying, you know what? God knows God knows what you're doing is wrong. Karma's going to get you down the road. I'm like wondering, why are we going here? I don't understand why we're inserting God into the situation whatsoever. So now he's saying that I'm completely in the wrong. I'm trying to do something wrong, yet they don't want to pay for a fee. They're a big dealership, right? They are a large dealership. They're not a small operation. They're a family of dealerships. They have more than just Volkswagen, right? So I really don't understand all that. I'm really disappointed that he would take that kind of approach and then now insert that, God knows I'm in the wrong. Karma's going to get me, which is not something you'd really expect a sales or a manager to do. Any professional that's supposed to be in a leadership position would do. So I'm really disappointed by that. And by the way, I have text messages. So if this manager, he said that I told him, I said, I may go out. I'm thinking about going out to YouTube, maybe posting my experience here. He said, go for it. I can't wait to respond. So if he's going to respond, I'm going to insert my comments, or not my comments, but I will go ahead and screenshot the text messages exchanged between him and I. And I didn't say anything that was unprofessional. He certainly did. Now, I think there's always better ways to resolve things. I'm not into cursing, so I didn't say anything in that regard. Didn't say any nastiness or whatsoever. Just kind of shocked that he decided to go down that road. Nonetheless, I think the bigger question is, am I in the wrong in this whole thing? Was it fair of me to withhold the Hummer key because I only got one key for the BMW, to withhold the Hummer key unless I was going to be reimbursed or just given a second key for the BMW. Now, if they said, you know, we're not going to pay for another, reimburse you for your key, we're going to give you a third key. Okay, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. But you know what? They don't want to, they don't want to do anything. So, but am I in the wrong? Should I have just given them the Hummer key? You know, I thought that I was going to get a second key. I was going to get two keys for the BMW X7, and when I asked for that, they said no. So, but they're going to do it for the Hummer EV customer, provided they don't get the key for that. But they're not willing to give me a key. Now, it has nothing to do with race. I'm not into race hustling or throwing that out there. That has nothing to do with anything. It's just someone who is just not giving, for whatever reason, they're just not applying things evenly across the board, or more than likely, he's just upset with me. So he's saying, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this customer because I don't like how, the way that you've handled this situation, thinking that I'm holding this whole thing up for ransom. And again, I just feel like it's a situation of, hey, look, I didn't get a key, and you won't reimburse me for that key. You won't reimburse me. You didn't offer. I asked several times if I can get a second key. They said no. That's not something they want to do. So they want a second key from me, and I said, you know what? I want to be reimbursed for the key that you weren't able to give me on the BMW. They don't want to do that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I want to hear comments. I want to hear what other people have to say, because I think it's kind of unfair. You're giving your trade. You have two keys, but they don't want to give you a second key. But then if you have the key, you don't want to give them the key. It's a whole thing, right? So I just want to get some thoughts from anyone who watches this video. Am I in the wrong, or am I right? Or how do you feel about this whole situation? I'm very, very curious.